Hi, come on in.
And join in. It's the Very Merry Life. Hi, I'm Mary Hendricks, and you might know me as that relatable AF Mama over on Instagram who hopefully feels like an old friend at this point. And if not, it won't be long till it feels that way as we get raw, unfiltered, and very unapologetic in all things motherhood, marriage, sex, and more. From moments worth savoring to moments worth surviving, get ready to leave feeling seen and supported. You have a friend here now, so hey, take a seat. What's going on?
All right. Well, hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're kicking things off. I'm glad we could do this. So I actually was just recording a podcast that's coming out tomorrow, but go listen to that, everyone, because you're going to hear about the changes that are happening. So if you're just hearing this and haven't listened to the podcast episode before this that came out on Tuesday, go listen to that. But everything's changing. So the name of everything is changing and whatnot. But Katie's still staying. She's not going anywhere. And we're going to have a heck of a lot more fun. And it's going to be good, but I'm ready. We're going to take a 2-week hiatus at the end of the month. So you won't hear Katie and I for then, but we'll kick things off on the 1st. So.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I know I can't believe if you guys are listening, Mary has had over 100,000 downloads. Unbelievable. You haven't even been doing this a year, have you?
No,
like
it will
the
be
podcast.
Officially a year in September. I don't even know. I don't remember when it kicked off.
I don't know what the statistics are, but that's pretty monumental. So round of applause for our Mary Hendricks.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm excited.
I love watching you shine.
I'm pumped. But that's also why I'm like ready to give the podcast its own life, like per se, because it's been called The Very Merry Life. And I'm like, I started doing this with that. And I'm like, I think it's been successful because of my page, which is great. But I also want it to have its own life and see what it can do on its own end. And I kind of like it because then we can have our own fun. Like this can be whatever. And it doesn't have to necessarily be like super very merry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I love being a feature on here. And Mary and I, before we podcast, we like to say like, oh, what are we going to talk about? Mm-hmm. But honestly, we just jive. Yeah. And if you were listening to our last podcast, Mary and I are going to LA together and we're going to go balls to the motherfucking walls.
We're going to go nuts. I'm
so excited.
We have to have stuff, especially because I need to make sure I don't get hungover because hungover Mary does not do well.
Same. So whoever's listening, send us a company that'll give us anti-hangovers. Although out there's tons of places where you can like go and get an IV. It's like what they do.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, they do work. Keith Bird being a paramedic, he has given me a couple IVs after a night of drinking and it does work.
That's awesome.
Honestly, I can't drink like I used to. But we should probably indulge in a little Mary Jane out there, a little edibles.
Oh, heck yeah.
It is legal.
Oh, yeah.
So we won't have our children.
No.
So,
no, we're going to do that. We're going to hit that up and we're going to have a grand old time. But I'm doing that. Actually, I'm going to Philadelphia on next Monday night, just for the night.
Fun.
And my friend texts me. She's like, you want to get stoned and sit out on my rooftop? I'm like,
and you're like, yes, I fucking do.
Yes, I do. That sounds fabulous. Let's go. And we're going to go get my nose pierced.
You're going to do it? I was wondering. I saw your story the other day. I decided
that I'm going to for fun. I told Kev,
do it.
I said to Kev, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And he was like, what makes you want to do that? And I was like, I just have always told myself as a kid that I wanted to get it done and I never did. And I'm 33. Like, who gives a shit at this point? Let's just go for it and have fun. And we'll see.
And what's the worst? So you take it out if you don't like it. Like,
you know what?
Who cares?
You know what? Part of me, because I don't know if we're done having kids, but if we are done, I feel kind of like we're done. So I'm like, I'm ready for the next stage and figuring out who I am. And I feel like as I've gotten older and older, I'm getting closer to who that person is. It's like uncovering all the shit on top of it. And I'm like, let's just see who.
It's an awakening. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like I have lived so many versions of myself. It's crazy. I just had a friend pop in, which is always fun when your house looks like shit. And we were talking about it. Yeah. I was like, oh, hi, sorry. There's underwear everywhere. But, I was saying how different I am even from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like I am a completely different person. And I feel like with each stage, I've gotten better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And like, I look, and I'll be 39 next week. My birthday's next Tuesday.
Oh.
And I'm like, I really thought that I'd be like, really having a hard time with approaching 40,
Yeah.
but I'll be honest, like I'm kind of embracing it.
Yeah.
Because I'm excited to see what the next step is going to be like for me, what I'm going to feel like. I'm sure I'm going to feel old.
Yeah.
I already feel old. My
yeah,
back's
I think it's going to
practically
just
broken.
be weird. I think it's like,
right?
It's
just
just
so weird.
Yeah, because it's all
Years
like
ago.
these years leading up to now and like that age, or like even like for me, if we are done having kids, like everything's led up until this. So now
Yes.
getting to it, and like you think about it, it's been school, graduations, first jobs, falling in love, getting married, having our first babies, having second babies, third babies. It's just been so much change and so much time that I feel like it's like now it's time to just coast and just like ride it
the
out.
wave.
Yeah. So it's like,
because all that other stuff is you're at the surface trying to get out past the break, right? Past the, now I know I'm done. So I'm like, all right, what is life going to throw at us next? Like Bryn is like getting so big and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be easier. Like even we were on vacation, we were in Rhode Island last week, and yeah, it's hard to like pack up a family, especially kids, get on a plane, fly with a friggin' 16-month-old who doesn't understand, be quiet, sit down. And I kept looking at like, I was like, this is, it'll only be like this for this summer. And next summer, she's going to be so much bigger and it's going to get so much easier. And with that comes this, it's kind of sad in a way because you long for the future sometimes, but you want to stay in the present.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can we have both? We can't.
No. And that's what I always ask myself too, with like the whole baby, like, are we going to have another baby? And I don't know why, like, I just keep going back and forth on it. And I'm not like, and I don't have to know, I don't have to do any of that, but I get jealous. Like my sister-in-law is having another baby and we were chatting, she's done after this one. And I'm like, what does that feel like to be confidently like, done? I don't know what that feels like. It's like more, you almost have to say goodbye to like the child that you envision, like knowing, like, especially because it's like kind of the plan, but now it's not really happening. So you're like, you have to like make peace and say goodbye with like this idea. I don't really know.
It's like a chapter that you're closing. I mean, it's indefinite. Like for me, like I had my tubes tied.
Yeah.
So if by some act of God I get pregnant, okay. But I had a very hard time at Bryn's first birthday.
Yeah.
I was like, this is my last baby. This is my last first birthday party. I was not ready to be done having children, but I made the decision. There's many factors. I could probably go into a whole nother podcast as to why I decided to get my tubes tied.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like third pregnancy. Like I was ready. I was like, get this baby out. I never want to do this again.
Yeah.
But you do forget, like you forget pregnancy and the uncomfortableness. You forget the newborn stage. Like your brain literally makes you forget. And all I remember right now is the good times.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Infancy. And I miss their little smell and their little noises and like all the newness. And
well, that's what I always say. Like I ask myself, like when I go back and forth in my head and I'm like, do you want to have another baby or do you wish that you could go back to your babies that you've already had? Like, what is the distinction? Like, what are you trying to figure out? Like, do you just want that time back or do you want to have another baby and do this all over again? Like,
because it has its challenges to start over to bring another human into the world. But I always think about like, if we had another, what would that baby look like? What would that baby's name be?
Yeah.
How would it change? I mean, our relationship would change again because with each child, my marriage has shifted in certain ways.
Yeah.
And it's not always easy, but we always find our way back to center somehow.
Yeah.
But I mean, I remember conceiving at least 2 out of my 3 kids. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Like, I was telling Mary, I was like, we need to talk about this because I was talking to a friend about this. I know the day that I got pregnant with Bryn. I was out, and if my friend
Did you
Michelle
try and get pregnant, like were you trying?
No.
With any of your kids?
Like Luke, I remember the day because I was ovulating. I was like, I'm literally ovulating. I was like, come in here and fuck me, please. Thank you. I had my legs up in the air for what felt like hours, but it was only like probably 25 minutes.
Yep.
And then I remember like not like trying to like, I didn't even, when you have sex and you go pee afterwards, get it all out. I was like, we're keeping this shit in.
Yeah.
This stuff. And then I was just slopping around the house.
She was like, you're walking.
And then, I got pregnant with I know that was Luke. With Declan, he came like, I had a 3-year age gap, but I remember with him, I don't remember the day, but with Bryn, I know the exact day. I know the hour. I came home a little tipsy from a girls' night.
Oh, there you go.
And they were all going to a bar. And I was like, you know what, girls, I'm going to go home and have sex with my husband. And I yelled it across this corridor.
Yeah.
And so when I found out I was pregnant with Bryn, I messaged my friend Michelle, who had coordinated this night. And I was like, bitch, I'm pregnant. And it was that night. It was whatever wine we were drinking. So she was one of Michelle, if you're listening to this, that you were one of the first people to know.
That's so
funny. Because she listens.
Yeah. See, Cassidy and Spencer, we tried. We tried and we tracked. And I know Cassidy was March 29th.
Yep.
Because I tracked with her. So I know that was definitely it could have been earlier. I mean, they say, because I'm pretty sure we had sex every single day during that week, because I tracked enough. I actually have the app still, not my old info, but I track now, and I should, because my periods after having kids are the worst thing in the world. Good. I'm ovulating today.
Terrible.
I'm ovulating right now, this very day, because I had my period 4 days ago. And I'm already ovulating. Yeah. It's bonkers.
Holy moly.
Yeah. So my cycle is so thrown off, but I had symptoms. I get cramping when I'm ovulating, and I get I get a horn dog. I'm I
was gonna say, are you a horn? Me too. I have sex dreams. It's crazy.
Yep. All of that. But I'm extra touchy feely. I should have known it yesterday, because I was really into holding Kev's hand yesterday, and it's almost again, it's instinctual. It's not even me.
No,
it's not me.
It's friggin' nature, Mary.
Yeah,
it's goddamn nature.
Yeah, it is. But it's that, or we didn't have sex last night, but I went to bed and I was so in the mood. But we went to bed so late that I knew that wasn't going to happen. But you just lay there and you're like, damn it. And then this morning,
or do I roll over?
The thing that made me take an ovulation test strip was because I kept going all day back and forth. That's probably why it's on the forefront of my brain is, do we want another baby? Is because my brain is trying to convince me that I want one, because it's Mother Nature being get knocked up right now.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's
I would
awful.
actually be so excited for you, though.
No.
I would live vicariously through you, because I want another child, but I think my husband would probably jump off a cliff, honestly.
Yeah, I finished my period last Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay, and you're already ovulating, and you're a 28-day cycle. Well, normally,
I used to be before I had Haley. Now it's every either 21 days or it goes 5 days late. I thought I was pregnant a few months ago because my period was 5 days late. That never happens. So it's either super early or super late. And that's why I'm not taking any chances of having any type of unprotected sex at this point.
You better wrap it up.
Yeah, we do. Tight.
Yeah.
Tight.
Tight like a tiger.
But this is the app. It tracks. Hold on. Can you see? You guys can't see, but I have an app. It's called Ovia. I loved it. I tracked with all my kids within that thing, but your yellow squares show you when you're ovulating. So we had sex every single day. And I know Cassidy was I know peak ovulation was that day. Spencer, I remember, I think it was January 13th.
Yep.
And I know we were here. Haley, we were here, but we were definitely a little drunk.
Yep.
And that was the first time of me telling Kev, because we use condoms everywhere. We use condoms, but I told him to remove the condom. That was the first time.
Take that off, baby.
We took it off, but we weren't tracking. So I didn't try, I didn't test, I didn't do anything. Yeah. And he took it off and bing, bang, boom. So
there you go. There's baby Haley. Oh my God. She's so friggin' scrumptious.
And I think that was Memorial Day weekend. So if you guys want a December baby, have sex in March.
Yep.
If you want a September baby, have sex in January. And if you want a February baby, have sex in May, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because our babies are February babies.
Yeah. And when are your boys?
Well, I have a fertile time of year. So the baby is February. My oldest boy is March, and then Declan, my middle son, is April. So it's I either was getting pregnant in May to June to July.
Weather is good down in Florida. That's when it is. It's that before it gets too hot.
I'm well, let's just stay inside and fuck like rabbits. Yeah. Thank you very much. Slop around.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Slob on the knob. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I know people have been asking you to bring back sex confessions.
I know. I have to
It's
get through
hard though,
this.
because
It's
like you
hard.
said, like the
It got
flagging
weird.
of,
It got weird.
well, people get fucking weird.
Yeah. I mean, it got more and more risque as we did it. And I thought it was hilarious. And I still do. Like, I still like talking about that. I think it's hilarious to talk about like crazy sex shit, but it's like things got so out there where I don't want it to turn weird. Like, I'm also a mom. Like, I do have my kids on my page, like things like that. I think I started it. I think I started it back. I started when I was pregnant. That's when I did it. But I also didn't give a fuck when I was pregnant. Like, I didn't care. For some reason, I was extra, I don't give a fuck when I was pregnant. I think that's when my
pregnancy.
Account. Yeah. Yes. Like, I just produced whatever type of content. I didn't really think about anything. And I mean, it was successful. I think that's when my page kind of blew up. But I feel like my page since like Haley in the last 6 months, it's definitely turned into a different type of page where it's like, I still talk about this shit and I like to say the word fuck a lot and all that stuff, but I want it to be more of like a community as opposed to like, I don't know,
a forum of like raunchy shit.
Well, I just changed my bio. In my bio, I used to have that relatable AF mom, and I changed it because I was like, I talked to Kev the other day, and I've been toying with this forever, and I actually just recorded this on the podcast that's coming out tomorrow. Of saying I changed it because I kept looking, and every time I see someone that says relatable motherhood, it's a stereotype now.
Yeah.
It's not relatable. And I think it worked 3 years ago during the pandemic because we all were relatable because we all had to deal with the same exact shit. We were all stuck inside. It was relatable at the time, but now life is getting, we can go out, we can go do things and whatever.
Yeah.
And
thank God.
What really threw me the other day is I saw someone I follow who does relatable motherhood on her story saying, I'm sorry for the unrelatable content. We'll be back from our beach vacation in a week. Like, she posted it up on her stories, and I was like,
yeah,
but so we're not allowed to share that though. Like,
right.
Because that's unrelatable. Like, I think we're now getting so stereotyped into what's relatable that we're afraid to share. We need to be unrelatable in like, certain ways. And I think we're losing that.
I mean, I love when I post something that's going on in my life or like my home or like how I parent, and people are like, well, I don't do it this way. I'm like, well, that's cool. Like, wouldn't it be so boring if everyone was the same and relatable?
Yeah.
Like, differences are great, but
I think relatability at its core, but I think that's what, like, when I like started this podcast and did the bio of like what the podcast is about, I used to say, I want relatable to feel familiar.
Yeah.
And that's where it's not identical, but it's familiar feeling, like someone that you know this person, like you kind of see something in this person, you vibe in some way. Like, that's what relatable should be. But I feel like relatable has gotten very niche.
Well, so I was gonna say it's
and when I see that
like
now,
being unrelatable too.
Yeah, like I see, and I want to see like I want to be able to feel like I can be your friend, which we are. But you and I live vastly very different lives. Like, you're in Florida, I'm in New Jersey. You are more of an extrovert, I'm an introvert. Like, it's just that difference, but we still get together and mesh. And that's the whole point. And I feel like when I look at some people's pages and I see just relatable mom content or whatever, I kind of just look and be like, oh, I know what I'm going to expect here.
We'll be back after a quick break. Eye-Opening Moments podcast are real-life stories of adversity, encounters, and perspectives. They are moments that can lift your spirits, give you some food for thought, or move you. For the introspective mind that likes to reflect, discover, and find solutions or meaning in a complex life, listen to Eye-Opening Moments podcasts.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
You want to be, I know.
Like,
I like coming to someone's page and being like, I want to feel, like you said, like, we don't have to have all the same things, but like familiar.
Yeah.
And also, I want to come on there and feel, I don't know, like, the people I love following are usually humorous, like funny accounts. and that aren't necessarily like how funny, how like my type of funny. Like, you know, there's everyone has like their own little
Funny. Yeah.
funny. Like you're just creatively funny. It's very
You're
natural
and
for
you are, and I think that's why I gravitated towards you. But I also think that's why I gravitate towards accounts like Cat and Nat podcast and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
unapologetic.
Yeah,
funny.
Like
you're
here I am.
And I think that's what I appreciate with you and your account and other accounts like that is like you get on and you just fucking say whatever the hell you're doing. Like you know what? I remember really like before we ever got connected like deeply, I remember following your stories and I think you were giving the boys melatonin gummies where you're like, I don't know what it was, but I remember you grabbing it off the shelf and you're like, come here guys. And
time to get the fucking bed.
Yeah. But I think you said that and I appreciated it though, because I was like, you know, most moms, I'm not going to say every mom, most moms have done this at one point or another, but we don't want to say it every night. Because you know that someone's going to come at you and give you the shit for it.
I get a lot of shit for dumb things. Like, although I haven't had a lot of hate for the most part, like my followers, and I have a very small following compared to you, but they're like, they love me and they will tell me that and they'll be like, I appreciate you. Or, you know, I come on here to make, like, I had a follower message me. She was on vacation in Croatia and she's like, my mom and I got on to see what you're doing. And I was like, that is, wow, thank you.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, I went on vacation to the Keys and someone recognized me and I was like, oh, thank you. You know, like we're all in Florida, but you know, it's nice to feel like I'm reaching people. And I know, you know, that feeling of like, if I could just make someone's day, one person. And a lot of times, like I'll watch back my stories and I laugh at myself because I'm like, I am so ridiculous. Like most people aren't going to post this because so many people have this fear of being themselves.
Yeah. But I had someone on my podcast that asked and she was like, I have to get better at stories. And she's like, how do you get yourself comfortable? And I said, the story that makes you second guess whether or not you want to post it because you think you look stupid is the story that you should be posting. Like I was like, 100%. That is how it works. And it's that continuation and of evolving and what's nice. And I don't know if you saw, did you see that stupid podcast that those two ladies?
I did. I saw. Yeah. And honestly, I love Amanda from Not Skinny, But Not Fat.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't watched what she posted after that podcast was aired, but she should have done some sort of like damage control because I followed her when she had like barely a following.
Yeah.
Maybe she was at 15,000 and she was still answering DMs and stuff.
Yeah.
And now she's blown up. But like, you have to start somewhere. And if you're listening to this and you're like, I want a platform, I want to do this. A lot of it's luck, but a lot of it, you have to show up every single day.
Yep.
And I love seeing the girls with 2,000 followers showing up every day. Hey guys, this is what I'm doing. Like, and like, to me, that the consistency of that, you're only going to grow and it's not going to be overnight. And some people it is overnight.
And at the end of the day, like I follow a bunch of accounts. I've connected with a bunch of accounts that have only 2,000 followers or less, or like I have people on here that follow me that I follow back that have like less than 500. Like it's not a big deal because if I am intrigued with you, then I don't give a shit as to what your following is. That's the whole fun of it.
I don't even know who that person was on that podcast.
Bravo show, but her and her friend have their own podcast and they can get like ruthless. And I've seen it before and some of it has made me laugh, but then there's other stuff that they've done that is so left field that you're like, whoa, like relax. But she did that and it's Mean Girl. She does a lot of Mean Girl stuff. And
I know, I don't like that shit.
If I had stopped and I did my reel back in response and I found stories, like I literally worked on that all fucking day because I had to go through my archives and go all the way back to 2016 when I kicked off my page.
Which takes so much work to do.
Yeah, I've been present on that app. There's not one day really that I've ever missed. I think I've always posted at least something. I mean, there's days that I take off, but like in that time, I busted my ass getting on this app. But I found old stories and then you watch and I found one from December of each year. So each story I put on to watch the transformation and one, I look different. Like you can tell I look different, but it's like what I noticed watching it was like, there's an air of confidence, but not in a crude way, not in a pride, like a boasting way. It's just like, you can tell that I have been validated enough to continue on forth as to who I should be, because as I opened up and got more and more comfortable, or more as I got on more, I got more comfortable with my camera. And because I got more comfortable with my camera, I got more comfortable on my app. I started to show little bits and pieces of who I actually am. And every time I did, I was usually always validated for it. So that encouraged me to continue doing more and more and more and more. And it's like amazing when you can see what that can do for someone. And that's like what I want here. I want everyone to come on and just share themselves, and like,
no judgment.
No judgment. You don't need to.
Unless you're beating the hell out of your kids, I'm not going to judge you.
No. And that's just, it's like with motherhood, like none of that does any good for anyone, but like just supporting does fucking wonders. Like it literally is, of just like not even being like, yeah, you're right all the time, and just be like, no, I see you. Like, I don't really get it, but I see you. Like that's enough. And that's so powerful. Like when you watch it, and these women are just negative Nancy's.
Yeah, I don't like that. I've never been a mean girl though. Like and you know, the mean girls, like it starts in elementary school and then it follows into middle school, which is really rough.
I'm waiting.
And then
for
high
that.
school, by that point, by high school, you kind of know your clique, your crew.
Yeah.
And you know, I've never been a part of that. I've never wanted to be a part of that. That's why I had a lot of guy friends in high school, because I just was like, I can't do this. Don't get me wrong. I love drama. I want to hear about all the drama.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the source of the drama ever.
Neither. No, thank you. Ever.
Yeah. And don't suck me into it, but like, I want to hear it, but I don't like conflict, and I like to resolve things quickly. Like I can't stay in an unresolved argument with anyone, like friends, my husband. I very rarely argue with anyone. And when I do, I try to resolve it pretty quickly. And luckily, my husband's turnaround time is pretty quick. He doesn't need much, thank God. I mean, I know that I have friends that have Mexican standoffs with their friggin' spouse, and it takes them days after 5 days of silent treatment.
Oh God,
but
no, that doesn't happen here. Kevin,
there's no way.
So similar, because that is literally
so similar.
Yeah,
I was just thinking about that. Like if we all got together, like we would have a goddamn blast.
It would be fun
together.
It would be fun. I'd be intrigued to see all that go down. How's his mustache? I love his mustache.
Oh my fucking God. I'm about to do a reel tonight. He just got home from like a meeting. That mustache, the only good thing from that mustache is the mustache rides, Mary. First up on the mustache.
That's not what I thought you were
going
to say. Oh yeah, that's probably like a different sensory experience.
It is. It's interesting. And as we know from podcasts before, my husband is a giver.
Yes.
So I'll give him that. But honestly, I'm over it. It'll be almost a year. And I think he's going to go a whole year, and I will die.
I cannot imagine him without it now, though. Like
it's insane.
That's his whole personality now.
It's his personality. Like we went to this bar in Newport, Rhode Island, if you're listening, and if you've been there before, it's called O'Brien's. And like their whole shtick is literally a handlebar mustache. Yeah. So we went in there, and he gets so many compliments on this goddamn mustache.
Was it one of the college bars on the Strip?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's so fun there.
Yeah, I love Kevin. I love Newport.
Beautiful. But yeah, like he gets compliments all the time, and I ask him, when is this going away? And he's like, the more you ask, the more it's staying. So like I really try not to ask about it, but like I think he's going through a midlife crisis. Like he's just
how old is he?
39.
He's going to be 40. Is he 40? Oh, he's turning 39.
He just turned 39 in June.
Yeah.
So he'll be 40 next summer. We're both turning 40 within months of each other, like 2 months of each other. So
it's kind of like a midlife crisis. When does midlife crisis start?
Well, I mean, if you think about the life expectancy, if you say most people,
100?
Die around 50? Like 90, 80, 90.
Yeah, so,
I don't know. It's just, I'm like, what's going on with you? Yeah. I don't understand this. And I'm trying to be very patient, because I'm like, what would you feel like if I cut my hair to here? And he's like, I would love you regardless. And I'm like, okay. We're getting nowhere. We're getting nowhere with this mustache. So we'll fucking see. I mean, but let me tell you,
the day it's gone, it's going to be a glorious day, man.
I don't know. I have a feeling you're going to miss it. I think that you're going to miss it. I think he's going to walk in one day and you're going to be like, holy fuck, and you're going to scream, and then part of you's going to miss it, but you just won't be able to say it. I know, I know that that's what's going to happen.
I've been with him for 13 years. So like, this is almost a year from with a mustache. And I mean, there's upkeep. He has to brush it out and blow dry, and he has wax. I'm just like, what the hell is going on? He's probably listening to me right now, and he's probably giggling because he loves to just prove people wrong or like piss people off. That's just what he does. Like, the more we ask, he's like, no, I'm going to keep it.
Yeah. Well,
and then of course he's a firefighter. So like a lot of the firefighters have it. So I'm like, I'm over it though. Yeah. But I'll take the mustache ride. You know what? I might hop on a ride tonight.
Hey, well, there you go. There you go. I'm not. I'm telling Kev to stay away from me because I'm not taking any
Fertile
chances.
Myrtle.
No.
Baby Hendrix number 4 coming.
No. Oh my God, no. No. See, that's when I think I'm done with babies. When you say that and I'm like, oh God, no. Like no.
Yeah.
No.
I know, just one other mouth to feed. It's bad enough, the animals, the children.
Yeah, and it's everything. Like, is Bryn turned a leaf in being extra fucking batshit crazy like Haley is? Because that's Haley. And big emotions.
So emotions. She literally purposely threw herself to the ground a million times in the last week.
Yeah.
Or like she'll purposely bang like her arm on the table and go, ah. I'm like, whoa, the drama.
Yeah.
But then they're so fucking cute. I'm like, I can't help but squeeze the daylights out of her right now.
Like
up,
she's so cute. When they first wake up in the morning. Oh,
the snugglest. Yeah, and Haley has her little bed head. It's so freaking cute.
Oh my God, her hair is.
I love when you dress her up and like when she does her little dress up. So
she's obsessed with that. It's definitely what her Christmas presents are going to be if she's still into it. But she's obsessed with it. She's been that, or she likes wearing things on her head. Like she likes wearing things, masks, helmets, hats. Like she went outside, she found Spencer's bike helmet, so she made me wear it, and she walked around the front yard with the bike helmet on for like an hour, and I was like, it's fine, you go ahead. I was like whatever.
This age is
child. Fun. Yeah, so she's fun, but oh my God, she bites. If she doesn't get her way, she'll come up to me and try biting me. So she's starting to understand anger. Like she doesn't understand it. She's starting to feel it.
Yeah. Like Bryn will do like, like she'll be like, no, like she says no now. And I'm like, whoa. Yeah.
And Haley shakes her head. Yeah. She doesn't know no, but she'll go shake her head. But she does that. Or I have a video. If you watch the vlog I put up on TikTok yesterday, Haley just like threw a fit in the hallway because Spencer was dancing and she wanted to go dance. So she was mad that he was dancing. So she just laid in the hallway and just like laid there like this. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is going to be something else with you. But
I know. I don't know if my boys ever. No, Luke was really spicy. I mean, they all have their own challenges, but she's going to get away with murder this one because she's the only girl. She's the baby. And we all fawn over her. I mean, if you watch my stories, you see my boys are obsessed with her.
Well, she's going to kind of get only child treatment for a little bit because the boys are going off to school. So she's got a few years until she goes off to school. So she's going to be doting on.
Going to be home because I would literally have to crack like a 401k to send my kid to daycare. That's a whole nother podcast. Holy shit.
No, I had a guest on recently. She spends $5,000 a month.
Yes.
For 2
Where is
kids.
She in the Northeast?
Boston. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I have a friend in Brooklyn. She said 2 kids, $5,000 a month. Like, how do you survive that?
I don't even,
what's the point of working?
I mean, we wouldn't be able to afford that. Kevin doesn't make enough money for that. Like his salary is enough to cover our mortgage and all utilities and things like that. But at this point, because of like brands collab, I don't even use that. Like he has his money that he brings in for paying for the mortgage and everything. And I have my own account that I can buy groceries and kids' clothes and everything for them is on my card to save from like the utility major stuff. But
anything I make off of social media, it's my money and I use it towards like you said, groceries or like frivolous things like the kids need sneakers or, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. And I polled people and a lot of people that do spend that much money actually are making a lot of money too.
Yeah.
They're bringing in over $300,000 as a household.
Yeah.
A year.
I mean, this girl that was on, she actually made a really good point that I don't think I wish younger me had heard that. I feel like, and I'm glad I'm a stay-at-home mom. Like I did want to be a stay-at-home mom. However, I feel like I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom for the wrong reasons. if that makes sense.
Most
And
people,
it was
no,
for
yeah,
the
there's a
wrong
lot.
reasons that also were not true reasons. Like they ended up, it was a conception of idea. Is that the word I'm looking for? It was how no, not conception.
Yeah, how you perceived it.
Perception.
Yeah.
Conception. This is what's happening to us.
See, Mary, it might be tonight. It might be happening
This
tonight.
Conception. This is my brain. I'm telling you, Jesus. It's Mother Nature. I'm telling you, she's trying to get me pregnant right now. The perception of whatever, but I perceived it to be one way, and obviously I landed in. I realized it's something different, but I also don't think I liked my job, so I think that was an easy thing.
Oh yeah.
However, I also don't feel like I pursued shit in college because I had the goal of being a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
I now can own that.
I have a friend. Yeah, I have a friend that's like, I want to be taken care of. I want to take care of kids. I don't want to work. I want to be home. And that's her life mission. Yeah. And,
I just hope there's I mean, that's great at the end of the day, as long as there's balance, because it's going to be a lot harder if she doesn't.
It's so fucking hard to be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it. It is so hard to be a stay-at-home mom, and kudos to anyone that's doing it, because you're doing the damn thing, and bravo. Because
I just think it sets you up a little bit more to be the default. Like, I think that's where the struggle is. But I mean, with all that being said, but this girl was on, she said, I decided to keep my job because I've toyed with it, leaving and staying home and saving myself that $5,000 extra money. And she said, but we can do it. We can afford it. It just means that we have to be very, very careful for these next few years. And she said, I just need to get my kids into kindergarten and into public school. And then, it's a 10-year, if you think about it, she said, I have like a 10-year window of like getting everyone in. And she said, by the end of that, I'll be making that $5,000. I'll have that plus $5,000 that I was spending on added to our income, plus hopefully more that she makes. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
It does. Like, and if
you have to just know that you're taking it's like a window of really hard budgeting.
Oh yeah. And when you're in it, like, I mean, my boys are in elementary school, about to start in 2 days. I looked into daycares and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to hold off and it is temporary. Like, that's such a good way of her putting it. Like, it's such a temporary thing, but it's like a lot of these daycares want that money up front, like second of the month or whatever it is, like I looked at it. There's a daycare by me. It's an incredible daycare. Like, it's literally the best in the area. And they want almost $1,900 a month up front every month. And it's like, holy God, like, I mean, weekly, you can swing it a little bit better because we get paid, whatever, but it's a huge issue in this country, childcare. And also they don't pay, pay those teachers, those daycare teachers, those preschool teachers enough. A lot of that money is going into the pockets of the owners of these, so it's like,
absolutely. Yeah. That's
why I have an FAU babysitter, a babysitter that goes to a local college here. And she's great. She's 20 years old. She's the cutest. She's cute as a button. She loves the baby. She's been with the baby since the baby's 8 months old. I literally love her. She's become part of the family. And do I pay her $20 an hour? Yeah, but but it's, my baby's here at her house in her safety.
Yeah, where she feels comfortable and it's a little bit easier. Yeah, no, it's figuring it all out. But like when she said that, I was like, oh, that makes sense. I was like, that makes sense, but it still sucks. It still sucks that all of that has to be like,
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. That's a whole other conversation. I
was going to say,
we'll wrap ours up.
I'm having anxiety. Well, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Oh man.
On
money,
that note,
children. On that note, well, we will see you. When will they see us together again?
I don't know.
Or hear us again?
I feel like maybe September 1st. If not, it's the Friday after that. Yes.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, we're signing off for now, my friends.
So hold on tight. We'll be back. It'll be fun. And
you guys are in for so much fun with this new rolling out of the new podcast. It's going to be awesome. I'm really excited for you.
It's going to be good.
Woohoo!
I'm pumped. So, all right. See you guys. Another episode down. Thank you all so much for listening. If you loved today's episode, I would be so appreciative if you would leave a rating and review. I cannot begin to tell you how much those mean to me, but also how much they help me get in front of more eyes and more ears. As always, be sure to check back every Tuesday and Friday for a new episode, whether it's an episode with me and my husband, me and Katie, or just another incredible, amazing guest. Stay tuned for more honest, real, raw chit chat. And hey, do me a favor before you go. Remind yourself how amazing you are, how enough you are, how special you are. And boy, oh boy, I sure am glad to have you here. Thanks, friend. Another episode down. Thank you all so much for listening. If you loved today's episode, I would be so appreciative if you would leave a rating and review. I cannot begin to tell you how much those mean to me, but also how much they help me get in front of more eyes and more ears. As always, be sure to check back every Tuesday and Friday for a new episode, whether it's an episode with me and my husband, me and Katie, or just another incredible, amazing guest. Stay tuned for more honest, real, raw chit chat. And hey, do me a favor before you go. Remind yourself how amazing you are, how enough you are, how special you are. And boy, oh boy, I sure am glad to have you here. Thanks, friend.